Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Amanda,
Andy,
what are we doing today?
we're doing not the TV guide. And would you believe that technically this is episode 15, but really we've had 33 episodes so far
Oh my
because we do
God.
it all in different parts.
I know. Grant, can you honestly believe we've done 30, this is our 34th episode?
That's mental. I don't believe that.
I know, it's
Someone's done the maths wrong, surely.
Amanda. That's all I'm going to say. Well,
No,
Beth,
I went through Anchor and I counted them all.
now, Beth, in your case then, I'm sure you can remember what's the reason why we've done 34 episodes, can't you?
Oh, now it's making
It,
sense.
it, it definitely wasn't to do with the fact that we took like an ungodly amount of hours to do a retrospective of Supernatural. Absolutely nothing to do with that at all.
Yeah. And before we start recording today, obviously, better make it clear this is a TV and film podcast review. Amanda, do you want to tell Grant and Beth what you started a rewatch on, which we're not going to review?
I've started rewatching Supernatural again. I'm about
No!
one and a half seasons in.
Oh, yeah, far in, Amanda. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Beth, when you watched all of them, how did you watch them? You don't mind me asking.
I
Was it legally? So we have to
Yeah,
ask.
I watched them. Of course, it was Andy. I don't know how you could suggest such a thing. I
don't you
watched them on Amazon Prime. Luckily, I was able to just binge watch them on there, so it was quite nice. Still
Now
took me like over a year to get through them, though. I think it was like a year and a half.
I think how long have you been on it, Amanda, now? A month?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
Beth missed out on the I can't talk. Original music then, because they didn't get the rights to the music that was in the original version.
Oh,
So
right.
Yeah,
yeah,
I've been meaning to get the. Everyone keeps saying to buy the DVD box set so that I can get the original music because
it is much better. It's like an extra character, a bit like Baby. It's like it doesn't feel right without it.
Oh, right. Okay. So the ones on Amazon have got new music, have they?
Mostly, about
Oh,
90% of
okay.
it is different music to what was
Oh,
on
right.
when it was originally aired.
So, Grant, can we talk you into buying all 15 DVD box sets?
Well, I've got to pay my credit card off first.
Fair enough. Well, now, obviously, today's series, everybody, yeah, like I said 40, yeah, we've got a heck of a lot to go through today here. And if we've got time at the end of the podcast, I'm going to go tell everybody, it's including the man that doesn't know this, what's coming up fairly soon, TV-wise. There's a heck of a amount of programs due out in September, October, and films as well. It stunned me a bit, this did, so.
Oh,
But
gosh.
yeah, now a couple of things obviously we're not going to touch on today, but we'll do more of it next time. Is obviously Wednesday season 2 has started. The first 4 episodes have dropped.
Yeah.
We not all the crew, everybody's had time to watch all 4 episodes yet. Me and Amanda have seen them, and Amanda, did you enjoy Wednesday without giving too much
Yeah,
away?
yeah. There's some new characters in there as well that I enjoyed watching.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I thought Catherine Zeta-Jones was really, really good in this. She was. I don't always like her, but she really bossed it on screen. She did. And do you want to give any spoilers away, Amanda? Who you enjoyed that came into the series?
Not who's come into it recently, but it was in the first one. I like the character, the dad, because it's just so funny, the banter between him and Catherine Zeta-Jones' character.
Oh, Gomez. Yeah.
Gomez, yeah.
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 Billy
I love Uncle
Piper.
Fester.
Billy Piper surprised me. I wasn't expecting to see her in it when it came on from
Oh,
the
yeah. I
cast
saw
thing.
her advertised in it. Yeah.
I
It looks
thought,
cool.
oh. And then I got also really surprised when I saw Steve Buscemi's name came up, and I thought, oh. So it was like there was a couple of surprises. I got a good finish actually at the end of the 4th episode. Only thing, obviously, if people wouldn't mind watching it, is each episode is about 1 hour, so they're
Yeah.
lengthy episodes.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of players that you can see the Tim Burton sprinkling all over it again. They got off to a really good start, so more to follow.
Mhm.
Now, obviously, also just started, and this is where we're going to try and convert Beth now, because I know all of us have seen Superman, which we'll talk about in a moment,
Yeah.
but Peacemaker was just started season 2, which Beth doesn't know much about Peacemaker. And to be honest, I couldn't tell you what his superpowers were because I've forgotten. But it had in it, Beth, as a cameo. He had the Green Lantern and Hawk Girl coming up in cameo right at the beginning of the first episode.
cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
And they were nothing like what they were in this film. They were a lot more broader.
Yeah,
So,
it's very vulgar.
yeah. Now, Amanda, do you want to tell Grant which scene you really liked in Peacemaker season 2, episode 1?
Is this where there's 2 of them? Or is this the other scene?
The other scene, which Grant guessed it right quite correctly before in
I've
the
think
conversation.
a naughty party.
2 of them. It was a very special party, let's just say that.
Everyone was having a really good time.
Yeah, and the bizarre thing with this was, Beth, is they was hunting down John Cena's Peacemaker, and they find him in this party, and he's just stood there, not emotionally involved in it at all, and it's just going absolutely crazy around him.
Yeah, it's pretty mad.
And then then we meet the second Peacemaker later on. That's all I'm going to say, right? So you have 2 John Cenas running around at one point.
Yeah,
it's if anyone's a fan of Superman, I don't know if this is for you, but it made me laugh anyway. What do you think, Grant? Is there anything you want to add to it there?
No, the first episode, I thought it was great, and I thought it was really clever how they tied it into the new DCU. They kind of did a bit of a retcon at the beginning, which worked really well. So yeah, I won't spoil it for Beth, but it's really it just continued. I think they made the wise decision because they kept all the story arcs from season 1, and it's kind of got away with it a bit. So I thought it was really clever. But
including this is where it gets confusing, Beth, isn't it? Including where they're actually bringing people back that got killed on the second or third episode in the first season. I mean, very well done. But did you like this? I'm going to Amanda this. Did you like the dance sequence that started to save program off?
Yeah.
Yeah, because in the first season, Beth, it has a cracking dance sequence.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
It kind of makes the program show what mad it is when you get all the characters dancing around, sequence dancing, and it was like, and that's including people who got killed off pretty quick in it on paddies. So there's all this dancing around like a pop video, and it's just absolutely And this was a longer dance sequence.
It's the best opening credits. So
it's
really good.
Unbelievable, and it's a real. I think it must have took them days to do that because it's really, really technical.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like.
Series 2, I didn't think the song was as good as the first series.
No, I didn't.
But I liked the fact they had Eagle, the eagle dancing. He didn't dance in the first one, so Eagle had a bit of a dance. So that was really good.
Yeah,
it does sound like my cup of tea. I do like
the
dance
sequence.
sequence.
It's really good.
Yeah, and this
If it's done well, I do like a dance sequence.
Yeah.
Well, the first season, for people interested in checking out, the rumor has it, and you've read this, Grant, as well, is the first season was obviously a script by James Gunn. The rumor has it was most of it was completely improvised by John Cena.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah, and the rumor going around is there's a lot of improvisation coming up in the second one as well.
Oh, good.
But it should be good fun, to be honest with you. But anyway, that will come next time. Like we said before, there is a lot of programme we want to get through today. And we've already dropped a hint that the first one we're going to discuss today is actually going to be Superman. Now, I've got my notes on this one. I'll start us off, tell us what it was about, and then we'll jump into it. And I think we've all seen Superman, haven't we? So, right, Superman is a 2025 American superhero movie based on the eponymous character by DC Comics. Written and directed by James Gunn, it is the first film in the DC Universe, DCU, and a reboot of the Superman film series. David Cornsweet stars as Clark Kent, along with Rachel Brosnan, Nicholas Hoult, one of the few people names I can't pronounce it. I'm not going to make a fool of myself. In the film, Superman faces unintentional consequences after he intervenes in an international conflict orchestrated by billionaire Lex Luthor, played by Nicholas Hoult. Grant, would you like to start us off with this? What did you think to this film?
I enjoyed the film very much. I thought it was good fun. It was I would say it's a solid start to the new DCU universe. But as a film, I wouldn't say it was like my favorite James Gunn film. I think it's one of the worst James Gunn films I've seen. Really, it was kind of I felt it was a bit messy. With the kind of like it was kind of the plot was quite thin. I thought the whole thing, but it was good introducing all the characters. I liked the Green Lantern. I loved Crypto was my favorite, to be honest with you. I loved every scene Crypto was in. I thought Nicholas Hoult was a good Lex Luthor, and I liked Jimmy Olsen's character. I thought he was a lot of fun. I liked his womanizing ways, but
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
but I felt like there wasn't much Clark Kent in it enough for me because he was kind of Clark Kent at the beginning, but he was just Superman just fighting for the rest of the film really much, and I kind of didn't really get the love romance between him and Lois because I thought it was because they kind of jumped in the middle of their story. You didn't really get the kind of like build up of it, so I felt it was a solid Superman film, but it wasn't one of my favorite Superman films. But it had its moments, and I did love the sporting characters like Crypto and Mr. Terrific. But he was awesome. I thought he was a really cool addition because I've never seen him on film before done like that, and he was really good. I thought, and so that was some cool bits, and as I said, Crypto for me, I just loved him so much. Every scene he was in, especially when he was kind of captured and he was like watching squirrels. That was great. Chasing squirrels. That was one of my favorite bits. But I did love it. I did love it when like Superman did save a squirrel as well. That was good. So they were like my favorite bits. But no, I thought it was solid. I thought it was a good solid stuff. I just didn't think it was incredible. I didn't enjoy it as much as I would enjoy like a Guardians of the Galaxy James Gunn film or the Suicide Squad or Peacemaker. I still thought it was good though, and I thought Superman, the actor playing Superman, was great. Yeah, really good.
I think it's a very different sort of very different sort of
Yeah.
film this was he had to do here. So I think he was confined by a lot of different rules on this. But Beth, I'm going to ask you now for your opinion. Did you hear the origins of the story behind Crypto the dog?
I haven't. I presumed it was from the like original comics or something. I thought it might have been
No, apparently they adopted a dog apparently last year or the year before, James Gunn and his family, and he's meant to be an absolute nutter. He's just running around. He's just running around destroying everything. That's why they came up with the idea for. This had never been done before as an animal superhero. Let's try it. And the dog was a lunatic. It was, yeah. So, but otherwise, how did you feel about this film? I know you told a bit about this on our messenger group before.
Yeah, I kind of I pretty much agree with Grant, to be honest. Like I thought it was fine, I thought it was like a decent enough film, but it didn't kind of wow me because I felt like it started too much kind of in the middle of things. And I know that was obviously kind of a deliberate choice because the Superman, origin story with him coming from Krypton and landing on Earth and blah 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 blah. That's been done so many times that I can see why they decided to just kind of like start, take all of that as given and then just kind of start in the middle of things and sort of go from there. And I think it worked in some ways, but I think it's not a very good way to. It's probably okay for older fans and people that already know the Superman story, but it's not really going to do much to help, bring in new fans and kind of teach them about, the Superman story. And you're kind of relying on people having that previous knowledge. And I think because it started sort of in the middle of things rather than going into his background and, how he came to Earth and all of that, it felt a little bit disjointed at times to me. It just felt like a little bit like, oh, okay, like that's happening, we're there, it's all kicking off kind of thing. And it felt like there wasn't really enough build up. And while I agree with Grant, I think Nicholas Hoult was the standout performance, really. I mean, everyone else was fine, but I think he really carried the film for me. I thought he was an excellent Lex Luthor. And funnily enough, he actually auditioned to be Superman, but they thought that he would make a better Lex Luthor. So I thought he was really good in that role.
Yeah.
But no, it was a good film, but I don't think anyone apart from Nicholas Hoult was particularly strong for me. Lois was fine. She's not the
Yeah.
worst Lois Lane I've ever seen, but she wasn't the best Lois Lane I've ever seen. Superman felt pretty weak to me because he just kind of kept losing and needing saving, and so it didn't feel very super at times.
What about the squirrel though?
I mean, the squirrel was great. The one thing I do want to mention is because I wasn't sure how I felt about this. I wasn't sure whether I thought it was a good thing or
Oh yeah.
too kind of in your face. But obviously, I feel like we need to mention the kind of very clear reference to stuff that's going on in the world at large with, Israel, Palestine, and there was a very obviously like a very strong kind of connotations like and sort of analogy to that in the film, which I thought was interesting, and kind of the idea of I quite liked the idea of playing on Superman being an immigrant, Superman quite literally being an illegal alien and sort of, he's technically not an American citizen because he wasn't born in America. It's like I thought that was quite interesting, sort of playing on the idea of him literally being an alien and that kind of political take on it, which is obviously very current, but I also wasn't sure whether it was a little bit too, overdone or whether it was a little bit kind of insensitively done at times and maybe kind of trivializing real world conflicts. I'm not sure. I don't know. So, but yeah.
No, I agree with you on that. And he had all the big fight scene at the end of it, and he was in prison, wasn't he? And he ended up with basically it's parody. What parody is the wrong word for it? Should we say there's similarities in the plot to what's going on between obviously certain two other countries are at war in Europe at the moment, and I thought myself it wasn't even subtly done. That wasn't. So, but no, I agree completely with everything you said to Beth and that. Amanda.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you, I have another question for you now. Which ex-Superman has made the news this week for what he wants to play next? I don't know if you've seen this.
I don't know. I've not heard anything.
Dean Cain.
Not ignore that. I don't want to get too political. Let's just say it's not Dean Cain, right? Because I've got 2-3 friends of mine that have been ranting at me if we carry on that train of thought, so we'll avoid that and move on. No, it's the one that just finished a Superman play from Superman and Lois.
Oh,
Tyler, I can't pronounce it. Was it Holin? Is it?
I know you mean.
Why has he made the news this week?
I don't know. Who does he want to play?
Batman.
Batman.
You know, Batman. He wants to be the DC Universe Batman.
Oh no, we need to give it to Reacher.
Yeah, Reacher should just take all the roles.
Yeah.
Either that'll get somebody else we'll be talking about later on, Jensen Ackles to play Batman. Just for Beth and Amanda. Not for me and you, Grant, right? That's gone up in the news in the last couple of days, that one has. So he wants to play the DCU Batman. Right, so but anyway. Amanda, what did you think to Superman?
The main reason I enjoyed it is because of crypto.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you. The crypto stole the show for me.
I just remember that scene where like they're flying around and he's trying to save the space baby thing, and it's
the
alien baby. Yeah, I'm getting Doctor Who mixed up now. The alien baby. If that was a human baby, it would have died.
No, it was an alien space baby.
Absolutely. It's just like I've never seen an animal done as a superhero like that before. It really was something new to me. That it was absolutely brilliant seeing the carnage it caused every single time it came on the screen.
Yeah, it was brilliant.
And they even found it used to his carnage at the end of it. He just thrashed everything.
Yeah, I love it when he just took on Lex Luthor as well. That's just great.
It was really funny. So, but obviously, now we've talked about some of the cameos in this. I'll go to Amanda first of all on this. I know, obviously, you loved the Supergirl TV series, didn't you?
Yeah.
It was wrapped up last year. How did you feel about the new Supergirl that came in as a cameo at the end of it for those couple of minutes?
No, she seemed okay. I mean, I didn't see enough of her to know what she's going to be like.
Yeah, it's
It
they've
looked
got
like
a
she'd
different.
been to one of Peacemaker's parties or something. And
Yeah,
she,
well, the character that's come from was a different run of the comics, where she's meant to be a bit of a wild girl. That's why. So he's like, I think they're doing a different approach as they did with the Superman. This Superman was based on Grant Morrison and Frank Quigley's run, and he played a lot more vulnerable Superman than what we're used to. So it was interesting. Now, I know you really liked you liked the cameo, Grant, didn't you, of one of the other three Justice League people who got introduced. I forgot his bloody name as well now.
Mrs. Terrific.
Mr. Terrific. That was it.
Yeah.
You tell me Mr. Terrific was terrific.
Yeah, I
That's
think he was
what.
my favorite of the three, Justice Gang people.
Yeah, but how did you all feel about the length of the film? 'Cause it seemed like it was quite a long film to me, this actually. It was well over 2 hours, wasn't it?
No, I think it went quite quick, to be honest with you.
I'm just
I
having a
didn't
look.
feel that bad.
Yeah. How did you feel, Beth, about it? See, I know it was over 2 hours.
Yeah, it didn't feel I think it didn't necessarily feel massively long, to be fair. I guess maybe because it felt like it kind of started halfway through almost in some ways.
Yeah,
Mm.
well,
But
true. If it
yeah,
started at the beginning point, it could have been a 4 hour
yeah.
film, couldn't it?
But no, I liked the cameos from the Justice League people as well. I loved my favorite scene in the whole film was the kind of like slow motion fight sequence with I've forgotten his name. Is it like Hawkeye or the guy with the kind of like
Green
exploding?
Lantern. Green Lantern. Oh,
Yes, I forgot, but the sequence where he's going with Lois to rescue
Oh,
Superman.
that's been terrific. Yeah, yeah. With his
Yeah,
team,
with
ah,
the
teams and
music,
that.
like I loved the
Yeah,
song
that
that
was
they
really
chose.
cool.
That was so good.
Oh, yeah, 5 years' time. Yeah, it was really
Yeah, that
cool.
was my favorite.
Yeah,
yeah.
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 I really liked the scene when the Hawk girl had this bad president up in the air, and he was saying that he's comparing her to Superman, saying Superman would kill anybody, and he said, "I'm not Superman," and she threw him down to the
I
ground.
know. I
That was
know.
really good. That was so. Was there any
It was sad
characters?
when they killed the KG monster, the monster at the
Oh
beginning.
yeah, oh yeah. Well,
The Green Lantern killed it. I was like, no, no.
but yeah, but he's a bit of a sod, that Green Lantern, anyway. Don't you? There's
Yeah,
a number of them,
yeah,
so and he's nothing like what you've seen in TV programs before him. Because Guy Gardner is a bit of a buffoon
yeah.
in places, right? So,
Really, yeah, yeah.
as you can tell from that, so was there any other background character you really liked, Amanda?
Squirrel.
Oh,
Yeah.
you see,
And
oh,
the
whatever.
space baby.
Wrong universe,
It's a
right?
space baby in my mind, as far as I'm concerned.
No fair play to you there. So right. Has anyone got anything else you want to add? Right, okay, well,
Not
very
really. I just think it was a solid start, and I'm looking forward to where it goes from here. Really, so yeah, I think the Supergirl movie could be quite fun. So yeah, I'm just kind
yeah.
of looking forward to it developing.
Yeah, it was interesting, really. And The Guardian absolutely hated this film. They did. They only give it 2 out of 5.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
really, really didn't like it. They,
I know
what,
young people, yeah, who really didn't like it, yeah, but I'm on the fence of it. I know some people who think it's like 5-star film, think it's amazing, but I was just like, yeah, I just thought it was just good, fine. As Beth said, it's fine.
yeah, I think same for me. It's Grant. What are you giving it out of 10 then?
I'll give it because it has a space baby in it and a squirrel.
You're not very sure about them, are you?
Again, I know. Well, there's a space baby in Fantastic Four as well.
Oh, there is indeed. Yes,
Yeah,
It was
baby
born in
born in
space.
space, an actual space baby.
I have got a comment to share about that, but I'll come on to that later. What are you going to give it out of
Yeah,
10,
7 out
Grant?
of 10. I thought 7 out of 10.
7.5
Yeah,
for me. So now
yeah,
you've told me a bit your opinion, Beth, online already. So I can hazard a
yeah.
guess what your mark's going to be, but surprise me.
I'd probably give it a 7 as well,
Yeah,
six
that's what.
6 or a 7.
Yeah, I thought that. I thought that because I remember you telling me you preferred the Christopher Reeve one. So
Yeah, he'll always be the
Yeah, me too.
OG for me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah.
yeah, I've seen some pictures gone online actually of him. They did a stage show of it in the 70s, did it before they got to the films, and you can see all the strings going around on the stage like that. It's absolutely look it up, Beth. It's crazy. They won't dare do that nowadays. What they were doing there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised the poor bloke didn't get killed making it. To be honest with you, it looked like it was one of those sort of things where, like, obviously, health and safety is not nowadays what it is on back then on
Mm.
stage. Because I know people have been seeing Mary Poppins recently, and they the choreography was you flying around the air. It was probably a lot more safer now than back in the
I saw
70s.
Mary Poppins actually years ago. It was really good, yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, most of my family's seen it, John Chisel. That's why I'm the only person not seen it apart from me and my brother, but he don't like Mary Poppins. So. Anyway, Amanda, what are you going to give us out of 10?
I'll give it a 7 as well.
Oh.
Oh yeah, so yeah, good start, guys. It goes right. I said before, we do have an action-packed show today, and I'm not going to reveal what we're going to talk about, but we've got a few programs here. Next one we're going to do is that I think Grant knows about this. I know me and Amanda do. Is we're going to talk about season 3 of Star Trek: Strange New World. Now, Grant, how do you feel about season 3 of Star Trek: Strange New World?
I've never watched the first 3 series, so
No,
Beth's
but
our Star Trekker.
yeah,
A
Beth's our
Trekkie.
Star Trek expert. Now, there is a
Yeah,
reason behind this,
and
Beth,
constantly.
obviously. Now, obviously, Beth, you better tell people what your new one of your day jobs is now. So,
Yeah,
people wanting.
so I have been very fortunate to add to the portfolio. I am now officially a Star Trek news and features writer for comicbook.com, which is not as fancy as it sounds, but good fun. I'm enjoying it. It's I get to write about Star Trek, which is very lovely because it's one of my favorite shows, probably my favorite show actually, now that I've been let down by Doctor Who. So yeah,
No.
yeah,
Dun, dun, dun,
it's
dun,
been
dun,
really
dun.
good. Yeah, been enjoying it.
Right, Beth, you better tell us all about then Star Trek: Strange New World season 3 then.
Yeah, so what I like about this is for anyone who doesn't know, Strange New Worlds is interesting in that it's a little bit of a prequel. So it's actually set before the original series. So this is meant to be the characters, like some of the characters from the original series earlier in their lives, before they became the Enterprise crew that we know and love. So Kirk is in it, played by the amazing Paul Wesley, who is doing a very good job. Like from Paul Wesley from Vampire Diaries is playing Kirk, and he is excellent. And he is in it, but he's not the main character, which is very odd to not have Kirk as the captain. But we've actually got Captain Christopher Pike, played by who was in the original series was the captain that came before Kirk. So they've brought him in for this prequel series, and he's played by Anson Mount, who is doing an absolutely fantastic job.
I love Anson Mount, love him.
Yeah.
He's
He did
absolutely brilliant.
brilliant actor. I saw him a couple of years ago in a series called Hell on Wheels. I don't know if you've ever seen that, Beth.
No, I've not, but I'll have to.
It's
I'm
a
a new
western. It's a
fan.
western.
I've
It's a
never
western.
seen him in anything else, but I'm his new biggest fan because he is doing a phenomenal job. He's bringing space dad energy in the best way possible. Is the only way I can describe it. He's really doing himself proud, and like they've got characters, like Spock is in it, played by Ethan Peck, who's also doing a very good job, like a young version of Spock. Uhura's in it. Scotty's in it, so like a few people from the original series are in it, and it's basically still charting the adventures of the Enterprise, but kind of earlier in the timeline. But it's a really good series because I think what I like about it is that they've kind of gone back to basics. So I think a lot of particularly modern Star Trek series have gone quite dark. Like Discovery was quite dark at times, and there's kind of been a lot of more they've kind of I guess like with superhero films as well, superhero films have kind of become a bit darker and a bit more complicated as opposed to how they were in the 80s when they were a bit more sort of colourful and and cheesy. And Star Trek the original series was a bit kitschy and cheesy and colourful, and and it was monster of the week, and it was a bit more, it didn't feel quite as dark. It was a lot more bright and hopeful and optimistic, and that's kind of what they've gone back to, that kind of original formula. So it's very, I mean, there are still some, obviously some like dark episodes and some interesting themes, but they've really gone down a route of kind of like the humor element and the kind of relationships between the characters, and it's just really nice because it feels like a return to what Star Trek was meant to be, kind of thing. It's a bit more, paying homage to the original basically, and kind of just space adventures, trekking through the universe. So I'm really enjoying like the dynamics between the crew, and also like there's a lot of references to things that happened in the original series, and like it's really nice for that reason. And the special effects are phenomenal. And I think that's also what's nice about it, because it feels like this is what Star Trek, the original series, would have looked like if it was made now. Do you know what I mean? So it's kind of like it's interesting to see, you know, this is what that could have been if they had the technology that we have now back in the 60s. So it's really nice for that. Yeah.
It makes me think of, obviously, we're going to spoil that on the Fantastic Four film, First Steps, we'll talk about later on. Is that on a similar basis, Beth, where they've done it as a future, haven't they, in the 1960s in the Fantastic Four? So is that what you're looking at here? Very similar sort of approach and a futuristic world and stuff.
Um, I think so. It's more of a, I would say it's just more of like a prequel, so it just kind of happens earlier in the timeline.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's kind of, yeah, basically exploring younger versions of the characters. I mean, there has been some darker episodes though. Like my last week's episode was really good. It's been one of my favorites. It was called "What is Starfleet?" and it was basically like the Federation. Well, the Enterprise is kind of being investigated by this journalist, this kind of investigative journalist, documentary maker, and he's essentially basically trying to kind of show them up and make it look like, you know, the Federation are actually kind of like an evil empire, and you know they're no better than the Klingons and all of that, you know, and are they really a force for good, or are they just, you know, colonizers basically? And like, so that was quite an interesting take. That was a really interesting episode, because it was kind of showing like, you know, the darker side to the ideology of Star Trek. So I thought that was quite interesting. But then it obviously at the end it was all kind of, you know, no, we're not like that. We're nice, and we're, you know, but it was interesting. It was an interesting take. So
That's interesting. It's led on to what I'm going to talk about next, actually, bizarrely enough. So that's linked really well. So before I open up the door to obviously Grant and Amanda, check if they want to ask, was there anything you didn't like about this third series in particular?
I suppose my only, and I mean, it's a bit, it kind of depends on personal preference and opinion, and it's a little bit nitpicky. I think sometimes the portrayal, well, I mean, not necessarily just this series, but throughout Strange New Worlds in general, I think the portrayal of Spock is a little bit interesting at times, because like it sometimes makes sense, you know, that perhaps the older Spock that we see in the original series, because he's meant to be older by the time we get to the original series, maybe that it makes sense that he's a little bit less kind of, you know, in control of himself when he's younger. You know, he's a bit more he's a bit more kind of chaotic and a bit more human when he's younger, before he kind of learns this sort of self-control and stuff. So I think I like Ethan Peck's portrayal of Spock, but I'm also not 100% sure if it fully lines up with, you know, how Leonard Nimoy originally portrayed him. You know, some of his character points seem to be kind of a drastic change from what we've seen. But I think it is just personal preference, because I think you can kind of, I think actors have to put their own take on it, you know. I think they have to sort of do their own thing with the character to an extent. So I think it is also just a matter of exploring different portrayals of this character. There's not necessarily a right or a wrong way to kind of go about being this character. So it's just personal preference. But overall, I think it's been a really solid series, to be honest. I don't have that many criticisms. I know that some fans have said that it's not kind of as highbrow as some of the kind of earlier Star Trek series, like the kind of the storylines are not as like, you know, in depth and insightful, and but they are still, I would say that they are still bringing up some interesting kind of topics and issues, and I don't think it's lost its touch in the way that some people seem to think it has. Some people seem to be saying, oh, it's not as it just doesn't have the same gravitas that it used to. And I kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, I think it's very hard to capture exactly the same feeling of a program. It's very difficult to maintain the same kind of sense of a show over 60 years. So I mean, take Doctor Who. So it's like, it's
Yeah.
not going to feel exactly the same in every series and every era.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. When you look at a series like that, as long as that, so Star Trek's a great example. It's
Mm,
true. It's the moralities of what a program set up originally, the way we look at society, the way things change, because they constantly evolve. So I agree
mm.
completely. Good point. Grant, is there anything you would like to ask Beth about this TV program?
Yeah, are the tribbles in it?
They have not been yet.
Oh,
As though they may well make an appearance. Who knows? I would love them to make an appearance. But there has been some great moments though that actually I think you would have found really funny. Like there's one episode where like Paul Wesley is on as Kirk. But they basically it's kind of difficult to explain without the context, but essentially they kind of do like a spoof of the original series. They kind of
oh,
they kind of do like a little mini spoof of, the old-fashioned Star Trek, and they kind of take the piss out of themselves a little bit. 'Cause They get they
oh,
get
cool.
Paul Wesley to do
Brilliant.
like a William Shatner impression, and they're all dressed up in like mini skirts and the sort of the kind of classic Star Trek gear, and then they've
Oh,
got
cool.
they've got Paul Wesley going, I don't know how to do. Like trying to do like a William Shatner impression and sort of like taking the mick out of
Yeah.
the original series, and it was really funny, really funny. Like it was kind of they know how to laugh at themselves, because it was kind of like all of them were like, but Captain, how will we survive? It's like all of this kind of sort
Yeah.
of
Brilliant.
like take all of the kind of tropes of Star Trek,
Oh,
that kind
brilliant.
of taking the piss out of it, and it was like it was a really funny episode. It was really
Good.
good.
Good. Amanda, is there anything you'd like to ask Beth?
No, I'm not even going to pretend to know anything about Star Trek.
Fair enough. Fair enough. At least being honest, Amanda, right? Well, I could talk probably about Next Generation,
Mhm.
probably Deep Space Nine, but and the original one. There's been so many series that have gone beyond that. I've lost track. So, but anyway, Beth, what are you going to give this out of 10?
I'm gonna give it a solid 9, because there
Whoa.
has been moments where I've been absolutely hysterical, and that is
Oh,
the mark of a good show for me. If it can make me like collapse on the bed laughing, then that is the mark of a good show. So I'm gonna give it a 9.
Yeah, that's excellent indeed. So well done. Okay, next problem. It's rare this actually. 'Cause nowadays, I use a lot of the programs I talk about. I use ones I've watched with Amanda, but I've been watching them by myself last couple of weeks. And I've got a question to ask Beth on this, and let's see how knowledgeable she is. Right.
Hmm.
Now, I'm going to talk about I've got this program I'm going to watch today. I saw it as a kid in the late 70s, and it's come. They've been reissuing it on Blu-ray, and the second season is about to come out. And I've just watched the first one, Blake Seven, and it's originally from 1978 to
yeah.
1982. Now, what is the connection, Beth, between Blake Seven and Doctor Who?
Oh,
Do you know? If you
you know
don't know,
what?
do you know this, Grant? If Beth doesn't,
Are they not the same creator? Can't remember now. Is that right? Or
I'll let Beth have a go in a minute.
But do
There
you know
is.
what this is? Do you know what this is really annoying? Because I do know this. I have heard this, but I can't for the life of me remember. Like, I have definitely heard this at some point, but I can't remember. Like, it's on the tip of my tongue. Um,
Well, it's the Blake Seven was created by Terry Nation. Have you heard of him?
yeah.
oh
And
yeah, yeah.
also, you did before that a series called Survivors, and I've not watched that.
Mhm.
I've not seen that ever. It was before my time. But his link to Doctor Who is he created two very important characters in Doctor Who: the Daleks,
Right.
and who else did
And
he
the fact,
create? And who else did he
Space
create, Beth?
Baby.
Not Space Babies. He's been dead for. He's been dead
Is
for.
it Davros?
Yeah, Davros. Yeah.
Oh, and yeah, because did he write Genesis of the Daleks? That's
Yeah,
the big one,
yeah,
isn't it?
yeah. He
Yeah,
wrote a number of quite big storylines involving the Daleks in the 60s and 70s, and I think he might have done some of the 80s as well. But yeah, that's what happened. It was just like I said. It was. I came across it as an advert on Facebook, and it basically
Mm.
they're going about it. People, a lot of the fans saying they'd done a really good job on it. So
Oh, cool.
I went and got it, and yeah, it's excellent. Really, really good. It is. It's really I can recommend this. So I've obviously, because I've not told you Grant and Beth about this, I've asked Amanda to give me a couple of questions. So Amanda knows about this in advance. Amanda, what do you want to ask me?
First, I want to know why you suddenly decided to watch it now, because it's kind of been out a long time.
Yeah, well, it came up on a Facebook advert, and they had advertised that the second season's about to come out on Blu-ray. And what they've done is, and I've not seen the second season yet, the first one is I'm talking about today, is what they did was they went back and remixed it. Like with
Okay.
the original Star Wars, where they've actually not done much cuts and they've just improved the backgrounds so it
All right.
looks more modern. Because if you ever watch the original, I've tried watching the first two episodes and they were atrocious because the
Really?
sets were shaking all the time and it was just, it just didn't stand up well at all. But they've gone and re-edited all the backgrounds and stuff and it was stood up really, really well, to be honest, it did.
Oh, cool.
And it was basically described as the Dirty Dozen in space,
Mhm.
where there's a load of villains. And this is what
Mhm.
Beth said before about the Federation are really good in Star Trek. In this, they're not. It's
Oh, okay.
Blake Seven, like the Outlaws, having to fight back against them. And it was,
Okay.
and what was really interesting about it was the sex appeal. That was astonishing. You had a lady called Jacqueline Pierce who played Servalon, and she played the main baddie basically. And she's a gorgeous looking woman, and but like she was manipulating all the men around her to keep going after Blake and his crew. And
All right.
you think for what they
Mhm.
did then, it was quite advanced stuff. To be honest, it was,
Mhm.
and that's why it's like I said. I've watched nearly all of this now. But it was a heck of a lot darker than Star Trek was.
All right.
But that's because it's the thing that the British do. We're very good at, I think, doing the dark stuff. When Star Trek, there's bits of it, obviously, it does go dark occasionally. Not like what the hell we've seen in Blake Seven. Good God. Because what they did, Beth, that was very different to Star Trek is over the four seasons, I know this already because I do regularly remember the four seasons, they had habits of killing cast members off when you least expected it.
Oh God.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
And then they got to, there's nothing to hide. It's been the last episode was 1982. The last episode got to it and they killed everybody off.
All
You ended
right.
up with the captain of them, by that stage, Avon, played by the fantastic Paul Darren, whose autobiography is really well worth an audiobook download as well, which I've just done. And he's stood there, he's killed off the former captain because he thought he betrayed him. And he ends up with about 20 of their Federation stormtroopers round him. And he's got a gun in his hand, and you know he's in trouble.
Yeah.
And then the screen goes black. And you're left like that thinking, what's happened? What's happened? Then you hear some gunshots and they go to credits. So you don't know what the hell's happened.
That was the final episode.
That's
Oh my
the final episode.
God.
And it's notorious for that because they did it such a brutal ending. Well, that's why, man. But it massively influenced apparently Babylon 5. Now, you've seen
All right.
Babylon 5, Amanda. I don't know. Beth, you've
Yeah.
watched Babylon 5.
No, it's on my list. I've got a lot of things like that on my list, like
Yeah.
Stargate, Battlestar Galactica, all of that kind of stuff is on my list.
Have you
Eventually.
ever watched Babylon 5, Grant?
I remember watching a little bit back in the day, but I wasn't like a regular viewer. I remember it being on Channel 4 before I was having my dinner or something. But yeah, watched a little bit of it. But I can't. Was it kind of like set on a big space station?
You'd have to ask Amanda.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
never seen it. So, Amanda, I think you watched all of it, didn't you?
Yeah.
I know you were telling me before that you were shocked on the last episode. It was like killing loads of people off.
Well, it wasn't the last episode as such,
Oh.
but it was last season. By the time the last season finished, quite a few of the main characters had been killed off.
And I do know from that, the creator of Babylon 5 said Blake Seven was his big influence to doing darker, edgier sci-fi stuff, and it's influenced so much
Oh,
it
right.
has. And it's, to be honest with you, the first season I've seen on the Blu-ray is fantastic. It really, really really was good. It's a difficult one because we've been so old. Some of the special effects don't say the fact it was crap in places, but it made, you know what I mean? It give it much more of an edge. So, and that's all I can really say to you on Chisel.
Was there anything that was dated about it, like the attitudes and things like that?
Uh,
So things were different
yeah,
about it.
yeah. The only trouble with it was Terry Nation because the two female leads in the series have both said point blank was he didn't know how to write women,
Oh,
and he admitted that, and he sidelined certainly one of them. The later that series went on,
right.
she the more shall we say, and he had her wearing some pretty tight bloody clothes in places as well, right? But I think that was a stereotype from the 70s that he just didn't know how to write women, so a bit like Stephen King, really. But
He
yeah,
doesn't know how to write them, yeah.
yeah. So I know you've got another question to ask me, Amanda, as well, haven't you? So
I think you've more or less answered everything I was going to ask before I could ask it.
oh, right.
Right.
So I was just listening to you thinking I was going to ask that, but you
Is
said it
there
now.
any Daleks in Blake 7? And so,
Well, Space Babies.
Oh,
oh,
I
no,
t- I tell
no,
I tell you what was in it. Yes, a third episode, and you'd love this, Grant. They had some characters in it, like Ewoks.
Ewoks.
Ewoks, yeah, and
Oh,
they
yeah.
went psychotic and killed these
Oh,
alien
no.
all over loads
No,
of.
they would never do
Oh, do
that.
not like this.
I was thinking that I was trying to remember when the Ewoks first came into Star Wars. Was it Return of the
Turn of the
Jedi,
Jedi.
or
Yeah.
were they? Well, they were in Empire Strikes Back, were they?
Yeah, yeah, they were. No, I'd love that if they were on a Cloud City. You know,
No,
fighting
don't think they were then.
Boba
That means then
Fett.
the one episode those characters came in, they're all like little barbarians, and it was
Yeah.
so close to what the Ewoks looked like. They must have Star Wars must have
Uh,
stole the designs there. Of really shocking it was, and what they did when they went berserk, they turned like monsters, like killing these humans off right at the end of it.
no, Ewoks would never do that.
We saw some Ewoks, didn't we, in early August at the first Ashton Street Fest?
Oh yeah, yes, yeah, yeah, we did, yeah. And somebody ran off when Darth Vader came walking down the street.
He's
Really?
scary. He's really tall.
And I know somebody asked him to take that Darth Vader take a picture of me. He can say, "Okay," with a very soft
Oh, really?
childlike voice. But no, let's move on. So, all right, Amanda, I think was that it?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Right. Well, I better give it a mark then, hadn't I? So, like I said, there was one or two episodes that weren't very good in places, but it's an 8 out of 10. If you can get hold of it, it's worth your time, really, isn't it? I'm looking forward to watching season 2. Okay, right. Moving on now. Moving to our running order. Next one we're going to talk about is Grant.
Okay, what am I talking about?
This is going to be a bit awkward, this, because then we're going to talk about Ironheart. Now, you tried to
The
get
what?
me Ironheart. You tried to get me and Amanda to watch this,
How long
and
did you last?
we got through the first episode.
Andy was like, after 10 minutes, let's turn it off. And I was like, let's give it a reasonable chance. And I sat through the whole thing. And then I was
Yeah.
just like, oh, well, that's part of my life. I'll never go back.
Have you watched
only have
Ironheart,
5 more
Beth?
episodes left to watch.
No, I've not.
Don't.
No.
Got my say otherwise, but don't. It was-
I liked it. Well, it was fun.
right, Grant. You better have to tell everybody in the world otherwise why
Well,
you
you're
liked
never
it.
going to watch it, are you? So,
No,
so
I'm
just
not.
go
I'm
full
not.
on spoilers or whatever.
I'm not going to watch it. No, and it's about the
Yeah.
fourth thing I've watched. It's Ryan Coogler again. This wasn't it?
Yeah, he executive produced it, but I don't think he was hardly involved in it at all.
Yeah,
really,
it's the
to be honest
fourth
with you.
program he's been involved in. I've tried watching, and I've not completed any of them. Kind of worrying.
Oh,
But-
I've not watched that Eyes of Wakanda yet either. That's
Oh,
him
well,
as well,
that's
okay.
come up now. I was going to ask you about that later. So, right.
Yeah, I've not
Tell us.
watched that.
You better tell us what Ironheart's about then, right?
Do you know what? It's been so long ago, I can't remember.
That's how good it was.
Right. Well,
It was
better.
it's about a girl. She's a bit like Iron Man. She can make her own robot suit.
Right. Well, I'll tell
like
you
an
what.
Iron Man.
I'll
She was
say.
in-
I'll
she was in
save you them. I'll save you bacon as I always do. Right. One minute.
Okay. Go on.
Right. Ironheart is an American television miniseries created by, oh my God, Charlie Hodge for Disney. Okay,
Yeah.
and it features Dominic Thorne, who reprises the role as Rhea Williams from Wakanda Forever, with a load of other people. And I didn't know Sacha Baron Cohen was in it.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about. He's in the last episode.
Oh, right.
He
Oh, good.
plays Mephisto.
Oh, bloody hell. God, my dad did it was still acting him. I know, so obviously we've been a while ago around then. What do you remember about this series then?
Well, I remember Ali G turning up. That was good. I like
I was
that.
on the set,
Yeah,
yo.
yeah. That was like the best. That episode, the final episode was really good because she had to because he's playing Mephisto. She has like she offers him a deal like for a part of her soul. So yeah, it's quite cool at the end. So and it kind of leaves it open end. So it's not like a hero's end really. She be kind of what's interesting about it. She's kind of like not that nice a person for it because she actually joins the gang, like, kills people and stuff like that. And but yeah, it was interesting. I thought it was quite good because obviously you seen the end of the first episode. A friend who was murdered comes to life as AI. Did you see that bit?
Yes, I did, and
Yeah.
unfortunately, I had to. It didn't. Amanda, you agree with me? It didn't save it for us, did it?
No, and I think I'd gone into a waking coma by then.
I
Sorry,
got it.
sorry.
The first episode is like the worst one. It was like quite slow, but then once they kind of developed their kind of like chemistry, because it was quite, I thought it was quite an interesting concept. You could bring your best friend back to life in AI form, and what would that do? And you see the impact on her family, and like her brother. He used to you obviously a brother who's kind of like a love interest to Ironheart, but she obviously that was her sister, and it gets a bit emotional with it seeing her back, but kind of got the same personality, but it's just recreated from her memories. But so I thought that was interesting. But yeah, there were some good action sequences. I mean, do you know the actor who played Han Solo in the Solo film?
Oh yes. Oh, blood. That was another
He,
another ratings bomb. Well, this TV series was apparently.
yeah, yeah, he plays a character. I won't tell. He's got a connection to the first Iron Man film. So yeah, he's got beef for Tony Stark and all that. But he's a bit of a tech genius as well, so they become friends. But his character is pretty cool and it quite interesting. But yeah, there was good action sequences. They were all like, but the plot was quite thin to be honest with you. There was that I don't know if saw the villain in the hood. He was like a gangster who had like a red
Vaguely,
cloak.
vaguely, John. I
Yeah,
think I'd switched off, if
he,
I'm honest, after 10 minutes, so I can't comment much further beyond that.
he was quite cool in that. But yeah, he was just kind of he didn't really have much motivation. He just wanted to get money, and he just wanted to please piss off his old stepdad or whatever. But yeah, it was just kind of honestly, it's quite forgettable actually. It's all coming back to me now, but there's not much interesting to talk about. But I did quite like it. It was quite fun. It was quite enjoyable. Yeah, there's some good action sequences, good bits where she's like flying and on because there's a lot of heists in the end. Just like there's some heists when she's robbing stuff like that. But yeah, there's still she's not a particularly likable character, which I thought was a bit interesting. And at the end, she does make the villain's choice at the end. So she does it ends with her being taken like the dark side really at the end. So you kind of think, oh, where's it going to go? But the way they kind of buried this series, I don't think she's going to be popping up in any Marvel shows in anytime soon because.
No,
But it was interesting.
the ratings have been terrible this year, so I've just been
Yeah, but
looking
it
at it
was.
then.
I had low expectations, and I thought it was. I enjoyed watching it. I watched all 6 episodes, and I thought it was all right. I just thought it was all right. It's fine, but
Yeah.
it was better than I thought it would be. But it was. It wasn't amazing. It was
Yeah.
decent.
Yeah, no, I get it completely. It's nature of the beast of programs like that sometimes. I've just when I was doing the quick research then for you, I read up on what the ratings were. They were atrocious. So
Yeah,
I
I
don't
know.
think
Yeah.
there's going to be a second season. But
No, no, no. But I think it's not done it down. I think she was quite good in the role, and I did quite like the character by the end of it. And I did like Sacha Baron Cohen was really good as Mephisto. That he's playing the devil. He was really, he was really charming and a bit sly and all that. It was really cool when he turned up. But yeah,
yeah.
it was just mad when he turned up. I was like, oh my god, it's Ali G. No, what's he doing
Oh,
here?
typical, mate. Typical. So, right. Well, conscious of the time, because we've nearly done an hour already. So we
Yeah,
better wrap up this part one.
yeah, wrap it up.
And
Yeah.
Grant, what are you going to give this out of 10?
Um, I'll give it 5.5.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, oh.
Or maybe 6 actually for Ali G. I liked Ali G.
No, that's amazing, me, that. So, anyway, folks, yeah, that's like I said to you. I knew we'd go on a bit tonight. Yeah, hang around because there's going to be probably a few more parts to come yet. So, when we come back in Two Shakes of Dice, Amanda's going to be talking about the Institute. So, we will see you all in Two Shakes of the Dice.
Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.
Not the TV guide.